It's a camera, and then it follows the sound. So like, if I had 6 people sitting at this table, the camera points at whoever's talking.
I see. Maybe those steel strings are strumming a little bit, picking up creating some sound.
So does it have me on there now that I'm talking?
Okay.
No,
No?
the camera focuses on who's talking in the room. So I have these in all my office locations. So we meet once a week, and I have the management team from each location, and it's like we're all in the same room.
It's pretty slick.
That's pretty awesome. Video conferencing technology used to be so expensive. These cameras are $800 a piece, and I'm never gonna have to buy another airplane ticket.
And big roofing companies can do that.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Just a real quick note. We've got 3 due process hearings on the agenda. However, we have not gotten good service from any one of them. So because of obviously the COVID situation and whatnot and the remoteness, the code requires us to bring the complaints before the board within 60 days. We're beyond that. So we're going to present them before the board, but because we haven't got good service, what we probably ought to do is table them for next month. But the board would have to vote on that.
Yeah,
that way
30 more days.
Yeah, that way we can get it documented that it was before the board, as soon as we could. And then we've also documented that we're waiting to get service, and hopefully we get service for next month's meeting.
Okay.
Make sense?
Cliff, and related to that, we can't hear anything about it and then decide we want to table it before we get into any detail. Is that correct?
Correct. Essentially, Mike, you will, present the topic of the hearings, and I will mention that, just under the COVID situation and with being remote and all of that we have not been able to get good service for the hearings for today.
Okay.
So then that's when we would have to make a motion. Well, let's make a motion that we table until next month to provide time to get service.
Sounds good.
But we won't be able to discuss any of the particulars of the due process hearings.
Right.
We would just discuss the fact that we haven't gotten service yet.
Sounds good.
All right.
Should we get started in the interest of time, or should we wait till 1 o'clock?
It's up to you. If you want to get started, just let me know and I will start the recording.
I'm not
Still
totally
missing
set up
Ken.
yet. Give me a second.
Oh, wait a minute. We don't. Yeah, we have a quorum, don't we? No.
I think we do.
We
Shane,
do.
we got Tom, Shane, Ross, and me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was checking for Ken because I wanted to remind him we're recording so he can watch what he talks about.
Tony, what did you say?
Good
Watch
luck.
who he talks about and what comments he makes.
Tony, are you ready to go? Do you need a minute, Tony?
Yeah, I'm almost ready. I'm
Okay.
just about to put this in and I'll be good.
Oh, there's Ken.
I'm good.
Okay. Ken? Neverman? Can you hear me? Ken Neverman, can you hear me?
I don't think Ken's on.
his name's on the list there. I see a video. I don't see a
I can't see it.
speaker.
Yeah, it's not muted.
Phil Barker here.
Ken Neverman. Oh, well.
I'll text him.
Hello?
Ken.
Yes. Hear me?
Yeah,
can hear you now.
making sure we couldn't hear you. I'm about to start
Perfect.
the recording.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
All right, we are recording.
All right, we'll go ahead and call to order the meeting for today, July 1st, the General Home Improvement Licensing Board of Review. Cliff, if we could get a roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Tom Sinek,
Yes.
Ken Neverman,
Here.
Ross Appledorn,
Here.
Shane Taylor,
Here.
Mike Pione.
Here. So it looks like we're just missing Daniel here today.
No.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows, the position, the G license affiliated with the union, I have been in contact with Randy Pettit from Elford. He's definitely interested in being in the board. He's going to provide me with a brief resume, and I've got a letter already drafted, a recommendation letter to go to the director. And once it goes to the director, then we'll have, if he gets approved, we'll have a full board.
Great.
Great.
Okay.
Michael, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes from the last two meetings.
Before we do that, I got a couple issues, a couple conflicts from my notes, and I'd like to go through those. About 4 or 5 of them. Tony, do you have a list of those approvals from the licenses from last month?
Do I have what?
I've got a list of 4 or 5 conflicts from my notes from what you listed as approved on the minutes. Can I go through a list of those? Do you have that in
Yeah.
front of you where we can mark that up?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Brian K. Boyd, I had that he was approved, but not for fencing. In lieu of fencing, my notes showed sidewalks, driveways, and approaches. Hopefully somebody can confirm this and go back to either the video or notes.
I can go back in my notes and look. And it may be that he was issued the proper license, but I didn't get it right in the minutes, but I will definitely go back and double check these.
Well, yeah, one way or another, they should both be correct, I would suggest. But that one was different from my notes. I may have made a bad note, but I guess I'm asking you to confirm it. So it shouldn't have fencing for him, but it should have sidewalk, driveways, and approaches. For Toby Burton, I had that we approved him for 2, not 4 limited scopes. Just siding, windows, doors, and roofing were approved, but not the 2 others indicated.
Okay, go on to the next. I'm writing this down as we go.
For Jacob Joyce, we approved him for a roofing, which is correct. I think I also had him for siding, windows, and doors.
Okay.
And then Edgar Martin Van Loon, I think there just needed to be a notary stamp for that one, so I assume you've gotten that taken care of. I think that was it.
Okay.
Absent that, I guess, or pending those confirmations, I guess, Ross, go ahead with your motion.
Pending those changes, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last 2 meetings.
Second.
Well, one more thing. Sorry to be picky on this. Did we ever get do we have the March minutes?
Tony
Yes, they
sent
should have been included with the, they should have been in the same file that I sent with the June minutes.
So we're improving the March minutes and the June minutes, correct?
That's up to you. If you want to do 2 separate motions, that might be a better idea.
hang on. I thought. Yeah.
Does someone want to make a motion for the March minutes?
Hang on just 1 second. Yes. Yeah, so I'll make a motion to approve the March minutes as written.
Second.
Cliff, you want to call the roll?
Yep. Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. So motion carries for the approval of the March minutes. Ross, back to June.
Yep, so I'll make a motion to approve the June minutes with the changes as identified by Mr. Pion.
I second that.
Cliff, roll, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of the June meeting minutes. Cliff, anything else before we go on to application review? Any other business?
Mr. Chairman?
Other than if you want to get the due process out of the way first.
Let's do that later, just in case we don't have anybody join us.
Okay.
Tony, go ahead. Sorry.
There are a few applicants on here, so maybe we should take care of those before.
Okay, good.
So I can pull up the applications. Let's see. And we have Phil Barker. And then
I'm here.
we have, you want to do this one? We'll just go ahead and do Phil Barker first. Is that okay with you, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thank you. If you can guide us through who's next, Tony, after we get through this one, that'd be great. So Philip Barker,
Number 3.
number 3.
I'm going to pull it up.
I'm certainly satisfied with Mr. Barker's experience as indicated in his application.
Yeah, my notes were in agreement with that statement. Ross, anybody else have any questions?
No.
No, it looks good. It looks real good. I approve it.
Then I make a motion to approve Mr. Barker's application.
Second.
Cliff, roll, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of the general application for Mr. Barker. Thank you for joining us. Tony, anything to share with him now?
Just look for an email, Mr. Barker, with information on what to do to follow up.
I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We have Robert Davern. And I can pull his application up. He was applicant number,
10.
thank you, number 10.
So he's applying for 1, 2, 3, 4 limited scope licenses, siding, windows, doors, asphalt paving, sidewalks and driveway approaches, and also roofing.
And
And
it
we
was,
just-
it was
we-
approved last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shot this down last month, given lack of indication of the hands-on experience, I believe.
That's right.
I didn't give much detail of hands-on experience. I gave a general input on my experience. But Tony had reached out and I'd forward her some more hands-on experience and detail.
And it should be in the attachments I sent you, board members.
I read it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm satisfied with it.
I agree.
Did we cover all of the trades? I thought it was a little bit light on indication still.
I would go over it, Mike. You're right. I mean,
Yeah, the ones that I don't have a ton of, the paving, primarily I've been a paving contractor in Columbus and Columbus area for the last 20 years. Roofing, I've been doing since 2012. I don't have a lot of hands-on experience with siding, windows, siding windows. Just, a lot of times I put that down just because when we're doing the roofs, I need to pull the permits obviously for the siding as well. But I don't have a ton of experience with the siding, doors, and windows.
What does that mean? Do you have a year of experience with siding, windows, and doors?
Yeah, overseeing them. I've installed gutters, but I've never installed my own windows or doors. But I've worked with contractors and subs and on-site staff members installing those things. But I've never physically installed the doors or windows ever.
So I'd be inclined, based on your comments, that maybe we should strike that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mr. Davern, what about siding? Have you personally installed siding for at least
sir.
1 year?
Yeah, that's why I added that one, because the siding is something I have experience with. But I've never experienced windows and doors, but they're all inclusive together. And I don't do windows and doors, but we do. We are interested in doing siding in Columbus.
Yeah.
So I see that poses the issue.
Well, tell us a little more about your hands-on experience installing siding, please.
Very simple. Down in Panama, Florida, the last 2 years for Charles the Storm there. We set the storm in another business that I own in Florida. We're limited contractors, subcontractors. And so me and the other two owners had to physically get out there and install everything from framing, roofing, siding. We did some stucco work. So, I worked along side by side with a general contractor who's my business partner and installed siding for maybe about 3 or 4 different projects through last year. And that's about it.
Russ, I think I'm satisfied. Any other questions from anybody?
Satisfied.
Take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Davern's license application.
Second.
Thank you. We have a second. Cliff, if you could please call roll.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Dane Kaler,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion carries for the application by Mr. Robert Davern for the approval of the 4 limited scope licenses as applied for. Thank you, sir. As Tony indicated, you'll get an email shortly to kind of confirm next steps with that.
Okay. All
Um,
right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Tony, next.
Looking at the participant list, I can't find it.
I see Ryan Chitwood, I think, on there.
I'm here.
You want to do that one, Tony, next?
Yep, go ahead.
Number
All right,
6.
so again, this is one that we saw, I think, a prior month for limited scope licenses for siding, windows, doors, and also deck. 3. Are there 3 or 2?
I have siding, windows, and doors, and roofing.
Okay, deck installation is also listed, but I don't know if that's
It's marked out on the application.
okay. Fair enough. So
Based
those 2.
Based on the additional information that Mr. Chitwood provided, I'm certainly satisfied that he has the experience required.
I agree.
I motion to approve the application for Mr. Chitwood.
Second.
Cliff, we have a second on the motion to approve. If you could call roll, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
James Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Dion.
Aye. Motion carries on approval for the 2 limited scope licenses for Mr. Ryan Chitwood. Thank you for
So
joining us.
That's for,
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
that's for siding, windows, and doors, and roofing only, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
That'll work. I appreciate it.
Tony, I see Terry Sloan listed over there. I think he could be next unless you have somebody else there.
Nope, go ahead.
I don't know who caller 4, 5, and 7 are, I guess, but we'll sort through that as we get through here. So
Number
application 15, Terry Sloan. We saw this one prior month. Looking for a general. Yep, that's your application 15. $16, 15 or 16.
15.
It should
15.
be on the screen.
Once again, based on the additional information that Mr. Sloan provided, I am personally satisfied that he's represented his hands-on experience appropriately.
I approve.
I'll take a motion for that unless anybody has any questions for Mr. Sloan.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Sloan's application.
Second.
Got a second from Tom for the approval for Mr. Sloan's application. Cliff, if you could call roll, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
James Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Dion.
Aye. So motion carries on the approval of the general application for Mr. Terry Sloan. Thank you for joining us.
I don't know if anyone else is on here for applications. I don't see any other names. I see call-in users, but I don't see any specific names. So is anyone else out there that has an application before us?
Yes, I'm here on behalf of Steve Horning. He is on the job right now. I'm getting him on the line in order to call in. Is there a window that I can give him for him to be on here? I have word out to him right now.
Yeah, who is it again? Steve Horning?
Yes.
Yeah, we can circle through some other ones, and you can kind of chime in between one of the next few.
Perfect. Thank you very
When
much. I
he-
appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll be on for quite a bit here.
I think
Perfect.
if you
Thank
look
you.
at Horning's application, it's very simple to approve. He has.
Oh, I
no-
agree. Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay. And you don't need him here.
I would make a motion to approve Mr. Horning's application.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Ken Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion carries to approve the limited scope license for pools and spas for Mr. Steve Horning, application number 11. So that's approved. Again, he'll get an email with some information in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
So caller 4 is still on there. I don't know who that is. If they want to chime in, if they're associated, feel free. Otherwise, we can go back to the beginning of the list.
That may be me. This is Wendy Boots.
Okay.
I'm not on via the video, so just me. Nothing, no one important.
You're very important, Wendy.
Important. Thanks.
Thank you. So let's go back to the beginning.
Listening, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, good news. We haven't known any of these people so far, so we haven't been scolded for inappropriate comments yet.
Yes, I know. Not yet. It's still early, Ross.
Exactly.
That's why I'm being so quiet.
I appreciate it, Ken.
Thank you.
Let's go back to
Penny's
application.
in timeout.
Application number 1, Aaron Ard, looking for 2 limited scope licenses, siding, windows, doors, and also roofing. I thought it was a little bit light.
I agree with you.
I think he certainly qualifies for the roofing portion without any, but I don't see any experience at all listed for siding.
Right.
Agreed.
I'd be inclined to go through our rejection process for this unless anybody thinks otherwise.
I would make a motion to disapprove the application.
I second that motion.
Cliff, roll, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Ken Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion carries to disapprove application number 1 by Aaron Ard for the 2 limited scope licenses.
Did somebody make a motion on that one, or did we just vote on it?
Ross
I don't
did.
have a, Ross made a motion.
Tom seconded it. Next, application number 2, Ben Babo. We've also seen this one before. Again, I thought it was a little bit light.
I agree.
It is for a general. He did pass the test, but I think we turned it down last week. What was supplemented? Do you have that available, Tony? Was something supplemented since we saw this last?
I think, by the way, while Tony's looking, I think that we've already seen the attachment where he indicated the number of man hours on specific projects. We weren't satisfied with that information 30 days ago, and I remain unsatisfied.
I thought that too, Ross, which is why I asked if there was supplemental information that maybe got crisscrossed or didn't quite make it to us. That's kind of my conclusion, but I wanted to ask if there was something that was different than what I thought I had seen already.
And I don't think he was one of the 2. Let's see. No, he was not.
I'm sorry, I had myself muted. I thought that I only included items that had new information attached. Apparently I stuck that one in there, and I don't see anything new. I checked my emails to see if I had something that I didn't attach, and I don't see it, so I don't think there's anything new.
I think based on that, we're not changing any opinion from prior judgment, right?
Right.
Do we need to confirm that disapproval, or should we?
I would go ahead and skip it.
It's already disapproved.
Right, that's what I was asking. Yeah, to me, leave it alone, right?
I would, yes.
We'll jump over 3 since we already covered Mr. Barker. We'll jump to 4, Joshua Keith Berger for a general. I thought this one looked okay.
Without any objection, I would make a motion to approve this application.
Second.
Cliff, roll please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries for application number 4 from Joshua Berger for his general license. We'll jump to number 5, Gary S. Burgess. He's looking for 2 limited scope licenses, siding, windows, and doors, and also roofing. I thought this one looked fine.
I motion to approve the application for Mr. Burgess.
Second.
Cliff, roll please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries to approve the application number 5 from Mr. Gary Burgess for the 2 limited scope licenses. 6 we covered on the phone. 7 is the next one. Joshua Scott Kahn. He's looking for 6 limited scope licenses. We've seen this one before, and I think we saw this in March. There was supplemental information here after that, right? I think it's attached to the application.
He indicated he'd like to appear before the board. And then was he the gentleman who was having some technical issues last month and was not able to connect? I think he was.
I don't remember that specifically, but possible.
His email, he said, please notify me, I would like to be there.
I sent him the link last month and this month. I thought for sure he would be on here this month. All I can do is send it. I sent him the link. I'm not sure why he's not on here. Anything could have happened though. As I should tell you this now, Dan is trying to get on to this meeting. I set up a test meeting with him and Shane earlier, and I'm worried that that's the one he's trying to get into right now. So hopefully Dan will be joining us here soon.
So we've previously disapproved this. I guess we just skip it at that. If he wants to show up at a meeting, Tony, maybe if he can get on a future agenda, maybe you can coordinate with getting him back on the list here.
I will try.
I'm going to jump one out of order because I see Mr. Joe Curry is joining us. We'll skip over 8 to 9 and then back to 8. Mr. Joe Curry, you're on the phone. Is that correct? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you for joining us. This is the first time we're seeing your application. You're looking for a general. You've passed the test.
Mr. Chairman, can I jump in? This is Wendy. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this before, but please be sure to swear in the applicants. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. He is just on the phone. That still works, Wendy?
Technically, he's supposed to have video. So is there any way he can get video?
Mr. Curry, are you able to get video?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to get it right now.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, we got you.
Thank
Am I
you.
live? All
Okay,
right.
great. Thank you.
Go, make some noise so I can see you. I'm not sure where your screen is.
Hello. Waving, thumbs up.
All right, I'm gonna get your right hand up, swear you in, and then we'll ask you some questions. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you could, name and address for the record.
Joe Curry, CURY, address 212 Timberland View Drive, Newark, Ohio, 43055.
Great, thank you. I thought it was a little bit light, the application on indication of mainly structural hands-on experience. Can you speak to that a little bit, please?
Yes, sir. I didn't know exactly the scope. Obviously, listening to what you guys are saying now, I probably could have elaborated some more on what I've done and put some attachments there. I just simply filled it out. But I currently I have 24 rental properties. I flip about 5 to 6 houses a year. In high school, I started in construction. And I continued to do construction. I worked in 2009, from 2004 to 2009 as a mason and a concrete finisher. And then I went back to school and became a firefighter. Firefighter shifts allow me some time off. And I've continued doing construction pretty much nonstop. Even when I was in school, I was supplementary income. And 2015 is when I started my own business, doing construction and obviously for my rentals and stuff like that. I currently have 2 full-time members working for me and a couple high schoolers in the summers most times. And we do everything from our own roofs, literally from the mechanicals up. So we don't do HVAC or electric or plumbing. Unless it's simple hookups of faucets and toilets, but we do framing, flooring, drywall, paint, cabinets, countertops, lighting, shower faucets, installing tubs, toilets, can lights, soffit, fascia, gutters, 3-tab roofs, metal roofs, dimensional shingle roofs. We set trusses. I have my own skid loader, dump truck. So we pretty much encompass everything that we do. Sorry, I just see my face right now. I'm not looking at anybody. But we pretty much encompass everything. And we have been running that for the last 5 years just to keep. I started just keeping it as for myself so I didn't have to pay an outside contractor.
Let me pinch it off here, Joe. Let me interrupt here for a second. Does anybody have any questions specifically, structural or otherwise?
Hey, Joe, I got a question for you. You say you're installing can lights, hooking up toilets and stuff like that. You know, you have to get a mechanical, get a licensed electrician, plumber to do some of the mechanicals. You understand
Correct.
that, right?
Yep. Within the city, I'm fully aware of that.
Okay.
I'm just speaking in reference to my own rental properties and our scope of work that we typically do. But I understand that for Columbus, absolutely.
I'm personally satisfied with his hands-on experience.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I'll make a motion to approve his application.
I second that.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. So the motion carries. Joe, for your application number 9 for the general HIC.
Okay,
You'll get an email from Tony shortly to confirm kind of next steps with the process.
okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Am I needed any further on here?
Nope. You're welcome to hang up. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Good luck, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go back to application number 8 for Brandon Cruz. He's looking for 5 limited scope licenses. Is Brandon, any chance you're on the phone with us? I'd be inclined to hear more about this than what's indicated.
The only thing I would say, he did indicate certainly masonry and roofing experience while he worked for the Durable Slate Company. And then he was a foreman for Creative Landscape doing decks, fencing, siding. And that was for about 14 months. So from my perspective, I think he meets the requirements.
Okay.
What about the masonry fireplaces?
That's what while he worked for the Durable Slate Company, he did masonry and roofing.
Okay.
It's also pretty well detailed in his email, which I think I didn't look at closely, but Russ, I agree with your assessment.
Okay, well then I'll make a motion to approve his application.
Second.
I second that motion.
Cliff, roll, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries for the approval of application number 8 by Brandon Cruz for the 5 limited scope licenses. Jumping over 9 that we just did to 10. Robert Davern, we already did that. Steve, 11, we already did that for Steve Horning. Going to number 12. Application number 12 from Larry Kilby.
Yeah, I didn't see an indication of any hands-on experience at all.
Right.
He was a German carpenter back in the 90s, but that's not the license that he's applied for.
Yeah, he's looking for siding, windows, doors, and also roofing. I agree. I don't think it indicates what is needed here.
Then I would make a motion to disapprove Mr. Kilby's application.
I second that.
I just want to be sure that I include additional information that he sent me. Was there an email attached?
Yeah, he simply wrote certified window installer.
Not much content.
Yeah, it doesn't, those certifications are easy to get, by the way, and they don't require hands-on experience, nor are they an indication in my mind of any hands-on experience.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that I included that with your packet.
So we have a motion to disapprove. We have a second. Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries to disapprove application number 12 by Mr. Larry Kilby. Application 13, Christian Kaler. Thought this is looking for one limited scope for roofing. I thought this one looked okay. 12, this is 12, sorry. No, 13, sorry. No, 12, what is it?
They got out of Yoder got in there. 18 got bumped in the 11th spot somehow.
All right, we'll reference by names.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Kohler's application.
I second that.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye, motion carries on Christian Kohler's limited roofing license application. Next one, 14, Kyle Severn, a single limited scope license for deck installation, Inc.
That one's a no-brainer, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Severn's application.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn, Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries for application 14 for Kyle Severn for the limited deck installation application. 15, Mr. Terry Sloan, we have covered previously. 16, Alan George Stark. We've seen this before.
I think removing fencing was one of the major changes we had here.
Yeah.
My opinion was that didn't necessarily get it over the hump. I thought it was still a little weak.
I agree with that assessment. I don't see, again, essentially some of the language in the original application has been highlighted. I'm satisfied that he has listed experience relative to fireplaces and to siding, but I don't see the other trades.
Right. He's not on the phone with us.
I don't see him. Let me, hang on a second.
Maybe I meant to ask, was he planning on getting on the phone with us?
I did send the link to every applicant. I guess he wasn't someone that I had made many conversations with. Some of these other people I've talked to several times and said, it would be in your best interest. I don't know that I actually spoke to this gentleman.
Yeah.
I checked my email to see if I had something specific.
Based on my opinion and confirming with what Ross just said, I don't think there's any inclination to change what we've already done here.
Agreed.
So we can move on to the next one, given that we've already made a motion previously on this.
Yes.
Number 17, Douglas Worley. We've seen this one before. He's removed fireplaces, masonry fireplaces, I believe. So he's just looking for deck installation and fencing.
Right.
Yep, I think he easily qualifies for those two licenses.
Is he indicating hands-on experience, or is he just selling and overseeing and watching and talking about it? I don't see, maybe it's in here. I felt like it just,
He wrote deck and privacy fence construction, rough and finish construction. He indicated he was an independent contractor performing. He says he has 9 years where he installed flooring and additionally built decks and fences.
I feel like it's all there. If I talk to him, I feel like in about a minute, I would understand that he's done it before, but I feel like it's a poorly drafted application. I'm not totally opposed to it or disagreeing with you, Ross. I just felt like it wasn't a good presentation.
I don't disagree with that.
I agree with you, Michael, but I hate to say it, but he does kind of hit on all the necessary words, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm inclined.
It is weak. It is weak, but a poor execution. But he does hit the words.
I'm good moving on with it. We can approve this one unless anybody else has any other comments.
I would approve it.
I approve it.
Motion
Let's hear
to.
that.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Worley's application.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn, Ross,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. So motion carries for application number 17 for Douglas Worley for the 2 limited scope licenses, deck installation and also fencing. So 18 or 11 is Manuel Yoder.
Yeah.
He's looking for limited roofing only.
Did you guys see did I attach the email?
I mean, he's not going to win an award for the best application presented or communicating in written English. That's for sure.
I don't think he doesn't say he did roofing.
Doesn't. Absolutely does not.
I don't feel like we can approve this. It doesn't indicate what it needs to indicate to meet the requirements.
I agree.
We already rejected it last month. He's had an opportunity to join us now, given the feedback. And I think we just leave it unless anybody sees something different.
I agree.
I agree, Mike.
I agree.
Okay, so we leave. We've already made a motion on that, so we're going to leave it as previously disapproved. The demo application 19.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Davenport's application.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries on application number 19 for demolition, submitted by Mr. Aaron Davenport. All right, so we're at the due process hearing. Did we miss any, Tony? Or has anybody since joined before we move on?
There's 3 more.
3 more what? Oh, the ones that I sent afterwards. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kalani, Monahan.
What did Monahan, what license is Malone applying for? Do we know that or
We
not
don't-
know that?
We're not going to hear that one because he didn't mark.
And I called him and emailed him and have not heard back, so I don't know
Okay.
what he's applying for.
That'll have to go to next month.
Can you put Pamani on this screen for us, Tony? I'm not sure where, I don't have that in a different
Yeah.
one.
The whole application, I can do that.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
This was heard last month, and it doesn't look like there's any new information.
There is. There's definitely new information.
It's from January. It's from 6 months ago, by the way.
No, the new information, hang on a second.
Well, we heard it last month as well.
The new information is a Word document, gentlemen. She
Okay.
indicates,
I don't have that.
yeah, she indicates from 1980 to 2001, my personal on-site work experience and duties were window door removal and replacement, general home repairs, full home renovations, including complete guts, framing, flooring, installation, roofing, siding, gutter, kitchen, bath, concrete, asphalt, decking, and fencing installations.
I personally know the family. Her husband actually owned it. Now their son owns a Pamani Contractors.
Yep.
I know she knows what she's doing.
Well, she very clearly indicated in writing that she has the required hands-on experience, from my perspective.
My opinion would be to approve it.
She's got a year of experience in what
That's
are
the
the 15?
Stationary fireplaces.
Yeah, that's the problem, is she checked every single one.
I'd say she goes for the home improvement general license.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should talk to her. I don't.
Yeah,
She's trying
I
to
agree
get
with you.
She's trying to get every application, every scope, and I feel like we need to hear that all.
Yeah.
I can contact her and ask her to be available for next month's meeting.
Tony, that'd be my preference. I don't. Ross, Ken, you guys think it's worthy of approval?
No.
I agree. I think we should talk to. I don't know if she has the experience on. It is difficult when somebody checks all the boxes. I know she definitely does have some experience, but like fireplaces and stuff like that. I think it would probably be better if we did bring her and talk to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Swimming pools.
Yeah, I mean, some of those.
Like I said, I do know I would agree with the roofing and framing and siding and windows and doors. That I absolutely know for a fact.
Well, we'll tell her.
The fireplace.
Yeah, we'll tell her the same thing we tell everybody else in this situation. She very clearly qualifies for the HIC. She just needs to take the test.
Yeah. What was the other one, Tony? Monahan?
Saran,
Manaharan?
yeah, did I send it to you guys?
Yes, I just got to
Okay.
find it. Oh, this was the one, wasn't it missing a page? It's just, did you just get the first page? Or there, is it buried in something else?
Hang on a second. It should be in there.
It was like a photo file and I just had one page.
Oh, it was a fax. That's why. I got the application from the licensing staff. They had scanned it. I never received the actual application. I only had the one that was sent to me as a fax. Hang on a second.
Well, he indicates from 2015 to present, hands-on experience doing roofing since March of 2015.
That's what it needs to say, I guess.
I'm certainly satisfied with that.
The only problem is the application isn't complete. If you have the rest of the application, I think it's fine. As far as the content goes, I guess we could make a ruling on that, but there's nothing that's notarized or signed or.
Do you have that, Cliff?
I have all that information, and just so the board knows that this was one that he provided information, and we gave him a temporary license.
Yeah.
And
I think
I spoke with him on the phone.
If you can sort through the administrative application details, I think we can make a ruling on the content.
Okay.
Michael, I think what happened is in Tony's email, this is a TIFF file for some reason. So I'm able to see all 3 pages of it, but the pages will only display one at a time. You can't scroll up and down.
I don't see. Okay, if it's all there, that's fine. I think if not, Cliff can bridge that anyway.
Yeah, I have everything.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, I can only open one page, but okay.
I would make a motion to approve this application for Mr. Mannery.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young,
Aye. Motion carries for the, sorry, I don't have it all in front of me here. The Surin Manaharan application as submitted. All right, anything else before we go to due process?
I don't have anything.
Cliff?
Yes, we have, I think, 3 due processes that are actually on the agenda. However, obviously because of the current situation with people working remotely and the COVID, that we have not gotten service for any of them at this time. So I don't know if we want to hear the due process hearings without knowing that we get service from the contractors that are being before the board.
I'd be inclined to table those until a subsequent month unless anybody has a different take.
I'm good with that.
We can go ahead with the affidavit, because we do have that. That should have been in with your things for case number or for the address on Novixby Road. Included in your file, there was the signed affidavit by the contractor, the working without permit affidavit.
Yeah, the 100 No Bixby Road.
You would just need to motion and second and approve that you accept their affidavit for working without permit.
Yeah.
Does that eliminates the hearing then, right? For that?
Right.
Okay.
I would make a motion to approve the affidavit working without a permit for the address of 100 No Bixby Road, Columbus, Ohio.
I second that.
Cliff, we have a motion to accept the affidavit. Roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
James Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries for accepting that affidavit for working without a permit on that first complaint listed. So then we'll table the other two.
Yeah, it would be 6732 Shook Road and 4229 Sibley.
I would make a motion to table the due process hearing regarding 6732 Shook Road until the August board meeting.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
James Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries to table the second due process hearing.
I would make a motion to table the due process hearing for 4229 Sibley Avenue until the August board meeting.
I'll entertain a second if anybody wants to second that.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
James Taylor,
Aye.
Ken Neverman,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Mike Young.
Aye. Motion carries to table the third due process item. Anything else?
Is it?
Any guess? We'll probably continue these virtually for indefinitely.
As far as I know, there has not been any plan to return everybody back to the office yet. I spoke a little bit with Ken Neverman that it was the thought was brought up of the board actually getting together but being remote from each other in the boardroom. However, we don't have the facilities to do cameras so that anybody can see the board and hear the board. So unless there's other provisions made, I think this is the way that we'll be meeting for the near future, at least.
Okay, cool. I thought the OneDrive distribution of files was convenient, probably easier for Tony than driving around and making copies.
Yeah.
Much better. I appreciate that.
That means you don't get to see Tony though.
You can see me now.
Get her address.
Let's all show up at Tony's.
They go to Tony's house.
We're still, let's adjourn the meeting. Let's adjourn the meeting.
I've been good, Michael.
Till the end.
Okay, I guess we're done, aren't we?
We will adjourn.
See you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Dave.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.